Hi, I'm Moksha and I have a lot of journals. Today I'm going to talk to you all about my journaling ecosystem. So, I have been journaling since I was a kid. It started with just writing in my diary and then it kind of evolved into other forms of journaling. I forayed into bullet journaling, I got into the Hobonichi system, I also do travel journaling and all these other like media journaling and other forms of journaling as well. So today I want to talk about my full comprehensive system that adds the maximum value to my life. And another thing that I would also like to say is that I know the whole concept of journaling ecosystems has been picking up a lot of steam in social media right now. Everybody's showing off what kind of journals they use, and sometimes they have a lot of notebooks. But I just want you to know that that's okay. If you don't have 15 notebooks, it's okay. If you have 15 notebooks, that's okay as well. So I'm someone who really likes buying stationery, so I have a lot of notebooks. I also like having different sizes to carry around based on wherever I am, so that just works for me better. But if you're someone who's just getting into journaling and you're a complete beginner, you should not feel pressured to buy 15 different notebooks. At the end of this video, if you feel like skipping ahead, I'm also going to talk a bit about how you can build an ecosystem, quote unquote ecosystem, within just one or two journals as well. You do not need to have 10 different things. And journaling ecosystem is just, it's just a system for organizing your thoughts and your life in the most efficient way possible that works for you. This looks different person to person, and it says nothing about how many notebooks you need to be using to do this. You can have as little or as many as possible. So I'm going to dive deeper into what works for me, and you can take whatever you need from it and leave whatever you need from it. And let me know in the comments below after you've watched this video what your thoughts are and what your own ecosystem looks like. So let's get started, and I'll give you a tour of my ecosystem. The first area of my life is just life admin, and for that I use these two books. The first one is the Hobonichi Weeks, and the second one is the Muji Pocket Note. Starting with the Hobonichi Weeks. So this was gifted to me by my friends for my birthday, and it really was a great gift because I love organizing my life and my life admin in this tiny notebook. It's also really compact, which makes it really easy for me to carry it in any purse or any bag, or when I'm just like having a day out. It doesn't really add weight to everything I'm carrying, so it's really cool. What I really like about the Hobonichi Weeks, and I have been an avid user of the Hobonichi system for a couple years now, is just how the journal is organized. So it has these monthly sections, and then it goes into the different weekly sections. And what I like doing is I put all my tasks on one side, and I put other overarching goals or weekly summaries on the other plain side, and that's usually how I organize my weeks. I keep things very simple stationery wise. I only use like tiny stickers like these. I don't really use that much stationery. I keep it very minimal because this is just to organize my tasks. I'm not trying to make it look super pretty or super aesthetic. I just want it to get the job done. And there's also the monthly section is really great. And here I started like adding some movies that I watch and started rating them. Some people like to add snapshots of their months and weeks in pictures. They print things out and put it here. I wanted to do that, but I kind of fell off halfway through the year. So then I just started doing like movie ratings. So there's a lot you can do with this. I know some people also use it to do gratitude journaling, and there's also a habit tracking thing at the front. The other thing I really like is these plain pages. So here you could do things like writing a letter to yourself, or just like brain dump, or recording information on the go, or putting in like contact details or things you don't want to forget. So it pretty much has everything you would need in one journal, and it's very small and compact. It does come at a high price point. It can be around 80 Canadian dollars, and It is an expensive journal to commit to, and depending on what special edition you get, the price can be higher oftentimes. There are a lot of Hobonichi dupes out there, but I personally just really like this one because I like the collaboration that they did with the artist. And one thing I really like is the Tomoe River pages. Like, they're very, very easy. The pen just glides right over it. And I especially love using my fountain pen on it because it just feels really smooth to write on. So this is the book that contains all of my life admin. The second notebook was the Muji Pocket Note. And this one is definitely a bit worn out. As you can see, like, the pages are a little bit bent because I've been carrying this around. And what this is it's essentially my brain dump notebook or my learning notebook. So I have been in the middle of a career pivot this year, so I've been taking a lot of classes and I've been doing some boot camps. So I use this to write down any information that I'm learning from a video or from class, and I make like color-coded notes. But the purpose of this is just pure note-taking and ideation. I don't try to add any stationery. I just stick to using different colored pens or sometimes markers. I don't really do anything else. All you need to fill out a notebook like this is just a pen. That's it. And that's pretty much what I do. The purpose is not aesthetic, it's purely functional. It is a very helpful cognitive tool for me to just jot down things on the go. I also use this notebook to do things like my Substack planning, and sometimes I'll write down ideas that I have for my business. And yeah, it's been really helpful for me as a cognitive tool. And if you can see some ink splotches on there, I doodle sometimes, like just anything when I'm learning. It's very low pressure. I don't try to make it look super pretty or anything, but usually if I'm going out, I'll bring my Muji Pocket Note and I'll bring my Hobonichi Weeks. The Muji Pocket Note is very affordable and it's also really thick, so there's a lot of usage you can get out of it. Like, I have been writing in this notebook pretty much every day, but I'm barely just halfway, almost halfway through, and I still have so many pages left. So that's what I really like. And if you want to organize it, you could always add tabs and such. So there's a lot you can do with this notebook because it's completely plain, versus this one has pre-made sections, so you kind of have to stick to a certain structure. But if I have these two books, then my life admin is pretty much sorted. Next, it's time for my entertainment stack, and for that, and this is entertainment / media stack, and for that I've got my Hobonichi Cousin, but this is from 2025, not 2026. I'll explain why. I've got my field notes. I love this tiny notebook. And lastly, for my personal use, I have this leather-bound journal which was gifted to me by a friend for my wedding, and it was really cool because she got it like initialed for me, and it was just a very sweet gift. So this is the last one. So I have been a Hobonichi user for the last 2-3 years, and I've also made several videos about the pros and cons of Hobonichi, so feel free to check it out if you're someone who wants to get into using one. But then what happened is that halfway through the year, I kind of fell off on journaling because I had other things going on, and I just have like tons of just like empty spaces and empty pages, and I just didn't know what to do. I felt really guilty at this price point investing in another one when I have so many unused sections, and I just wasn't able to fill everything out because it's a very comprehensive journal. It's a behemoth of a journal because it has your monthly sections. It has, like, I was doodling in this one for a bit, but then I kind of fell off on that. It has like weeks, it has months, and then it goes into days. So there's just a lot, and I wasn't able to fill all my pages out. Quite a bit of it was just blank pages. Like, I have so many blank pages left, and this made me feel like really guilty. So that's why I moved on to the weeks, which is much easier to fill out, and it just makes sense because it's lighter and easy to carry around. Because I mostly think that the Hobonichi is so good for admin and planning, and the pressure to fill out every single day with dates was just too much for me. So there's a lot of different things that I've been doing with this journal. I bring this to my journaling meetups as well, and just use it as a pressure-free space to create. And I think it's important to have a plain journal where you can just entertain yourself. So that's the first journal in my personal entertainment stack. The second one is this field notes. So this came in a 3-pack and I'm still on my first one. I haven't really used the second and third ones. They look pretty much the same. They have a lot of different designs and they have really pretty ones, like some with birds, some with like forests and flowers on it. They have many different editions. I just bought the most simple 48-page memo book. And what I've been using it for is media journaling. So I will, when I watch movies, I will just put the tickets in there and I'll write a movie review here. I think this has been really fun for me because I've been getting more into watching movies lately. So I just use it to write down all my thoughts about the movie. I do have a Letterboxd account if you want to check it out and see what I'm watching these days. But I feel like this is more of a judgment-free space for me to really write about what I feel about the different movies. So sometimes I will put the movie posters in something like Canva and then I'll print them out and cut it and just paste it here. And I think it just looks pretty. Stationery use is pretty minimal. I usually just use a black marker and a black pen and something like that. And sometimes I'll add colors for the stars, but yeah, I think this has been just a really fun way to capture everything I'm watching. I'm also planning to log books that I read in here too, so it's just going to be an all-encompassing media journal. This is a really quick and fun way if you like tiny notebooks to get into journaling. And then the last one is this leather-bound journal. This was a gift from a friend. This came completely plain, but then I decided to add some personal touches to it. So I added this like photo booth strip. This postcard is from MoMA. It's a Matisse painting. Then I also added this string with some vintage buttons that I had, and I added this cat clip and this extra pin that I had lying around. This is essentially what you would call a thoughts journal or a thought daughter journal, where I just write about life, manifestations, personal things. I'm not going to show you too much of it because it's very personal, but this is what the pages look like. I still just only started writing in it, so it's not quite full because I've only gotten it like a couple months ago. I'm trying to get into the habit of filling this out every day, but this is purely just like a personal diary substitution. So oftentimes I'll look for some good prompts and then I'll just write what I feel about it. So yeah, this is my complete entertainment stack. If I have these notebooks with me, I'm pretty much entertained. Usually I will just bring this one and this one with me when I'm outside because this one's a bit bulky. I only bring this to meetups or to do junk journaling at home. Okay, the next section is my personal favorite, and that is travel. So if you've seen my other videos about BC and Montreal, you know that I absolutely love travel journaling. I think that is my favorite type of journaling. I'm a shy person, so I'm not very big on travel blogging, so I like to just make very elaborate travel journals to capture my trips. And I have sort of a system for it. I'll make a more detailed video about what my travel journal system entails, but it starts with this tiny notebook. So this Penco notebook, I picked it up when I was in Bangkok, and it's something that I've recently added to my travel journal routine. I use this to basically jot down little notes on what I've been doing. So for example, it's like a mini itinerary. So I'll just write down like, this is what I did on day 4 of the trip. This is what I did on day 5 of a trip. Because oftentimes what happens is when I come back from a trip and I actually sit down to make my travel journal, I've pretty much forgotten what I even did during the trip. Because it's hard to remember the names of all the restaurants I went to, or what where I went shopping, or what I bought, or just the activities that I did. So I just write everything down in this like tiny notebook. It's like grid lines, and it's very fun to write on. So it's also super tiny, which means I can slip it into like a fanny pack or anything. So while I'm traveling, I will just write stuff down. I always bring a pen with me, so I'll just write stuff down. And then when I'm back, I will put all that along with all the other stationery that I've gotten from my trip into a complete travel journal. So my travel journal system has evolved quite a bit over the last few years. I started off with using these slim Muji notebooks, and these were great. This is my gateway into travel journaling, so these are the 3 that I have made so far. This one was when I went to New York with my friend, and I basically just put like, I'm a big writing person, so I write a lot about what I did that day, and then I would just print out photos with my Canon selfie and I'll paste them on the other side. And this is a playbill from when we watched a show. So I really like recording my travel in this form. I collect a lot of postcards, tickets, everything that I pretty much can find, and then I just put it all in this one travel journal. These are great because they're very portable and really good if you want to do travel journaling on the go, and if you're not someone who likes to wait until the trip is over to get started. And they're also very affordable. So I buy these from Muji, and then I just put my little stamps on it right before the trip. This is the one that I made when I went to Orlando and I went to Disney and Universal. So yeah. And this one is my Canadian one. I'm sure if you watch my other videos, you know what this one looks like. So I started off with doing Tofino and British Columbia, and then I also have Montreal in it. If you haven't checked out yet, you can look at my Montreal visual diary, and it has Banff in it as well. But then later last year, I decided that I wanted something bigger. So oftentimes I like putting things like postcards and such, and I felt like this was a bit too small for me. I wanted it to be bigger and more scrapbook style. So then I ended up making this system for myself, and I got this one from Muji as well. So I got this this binder from Muji, and I'll put the name on the screen. And then I picked up, this is actually the polypropylene cover from Muji, and then these pages, these brown paper pages, are actually not loose leaf pages or anything, but they're actually page dividers. So I just really liked the aesthetic of the brown paper, so I bought the page dividers and then I just put them into the binder. And I really like it because you can take out the pages and add pages as you like, so it's very flexible. You can make this as big or as small as possible, and you can also continue adding more trips to it. And when you use the page dividers, you have the option of either just cutting these out, or you can add different tabs, like you can just section it off. So one section can be, for example, just food, or one section can just be activities, one section can be shopping, so on and so forth. But yeah, I really like using this kind of travel journal because it gives me a lot of space to paste my film photographs, which really pop on the brown paper. Here I have a massive postcard, which I got from Taiwan, and it just, usually when I put something of this size in these slim notebooks, I either have to fold it or I have to cut it. It just ruins the piece that I collected. I also feel like the journal gets bulky really, really fast when I add a lot of postcards and stuff. So I actually prefer just doing this. So I just add a lot of, like here I've been using some business cards, washi tapes, and I can make a more comprehensive video on how I do my travel journaling because it's my most favorite thing to do. But yeah, this is when I went to the cat village. So one thing I really enjoyed during this trip was every subway station had stamps. So I just brought a little notebook with me, something in the size of the field notes, and I collected stamps, and then later I just cut it out and I pasted it. This was such a great way to relive the trip as well. Like I have my train tickets and I also have my postcards on here. I use a white pen so that the colors pop against the brown paper. So yeah, these are all of my travel journals, and I obviously continue adding more and more to this stack every time I go somewhere. I will make a more comprehensive video about it, but this is a brief overview of the system that works for me. So that was an overview of my complete system that I use for my journaling. But now I want to talk about if you don't want to spend an exorbitant amount on 10 different types of journals, but you still want to have a complete journaling system, how do we build one just with one journal? I have 3 options here, and I'm going to walk you through every single one of them. So the first one is buying something like this, a thick Muji pocket notebook. What you can do with this is you can section it off by yourself. So for example, if I divided this journal up into 4 pieces like this, where my first piece is admin, second piece is media and entertainment, third piece is personal, and then the last one is something like junk journaling. And you can use something like these tabs to add sections. Like these are really cute movement tabs that I picked up from Umomo. So you can just add these tabs and you can just like stick them on here. That way you can just flip to the sections easily as and when you need to. And then you just have one notebook that you can carry around and bring everywhere, and then you can just write in it according to what you're doing. That is option number 1. Option number 2 is getting something slightly pricier, which would be something like a Hobonichi cousin or a Hobonichi Days Free. So what I like about the Days Free is that you don't get pressured to write every single day because they don't have these dates on it. It's all just plain, so you can fill it out as and when you need to. But the second thing that would also make a Days Free very useful is because it doesn't have the days on it, you can section it off according to whatever you want to add to your journal. And this is a slightly more premium option, but the paper quality is going to be so good if you're someone who really values that. So this is another great option if you want to look into it. You could also go with the Hobonichi Weeks if your main purpose for a journal ecosystem is life and admin. I think a Hobonichi Weeks is enough. It works really well. The third option is a Filofax. So this is just an example. I have these spare papers lying around from my I want to make another travel journal. So if you bought something like these, you buy these loose leaf papers, and then you had like a clear folio, something like this, you could add it as different sections. Like you could use these tabs, or you could just make tabs of your own and add it into your Filofax or binder, and just divide it up according to the areas that you want to journal about. One could be for junk journaling, one could be for media and entertainment, one could be for tasks and life admin, and that gives you a lot of flexibility because you can remove pages if it gets too bulky or if you don't want to keep those pages in your journal anymore. Similarly, you could add pages as and when you need to. You could add anything to this one as long as like you can get the punching to a line. So I think that is a really great option for someone who's looking for maximum flexibility. And this, depending on where you get your Filofax from, this can also be a very budget friendly option, because if you go to some place like a local dollar store or just order it from like Amazon, it could be pretty affordable to build a Filofax from scratch. So this is a great option for people who want that kind of flexibility. And that pretty much brings us to the end of this video, and I really hope that you enjoyed watching this video and it brought you some helpful insights on how you can build a journaling ecosystem. But I want to end this video by saying that while a journaling ecosystem is really cool, it can sometimes spiral into overconsumption. And I am fully aware of the fact that I have way too many notebooks and way too many journals, but stationery is a hobby of mine and I make a lot of content around journaling, so I can justify that kind of ecosystem, but that's not the case for everybody. So build whatever is best for you. You do not need to carry around 10 different notebooks. You just need to find something that works for you and that you're going to stick to. Because like I mentioned, sometimes even when you invest in expensive journals like the Hobonichi and you don't end up using them, it can kind of become a financial trap as well. So just keep up with whatever works for you, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave me any comments or feedback below based on what you'd like to see, what you liked and what you didn't like, and I'd be happy to make more content. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope everyone watching this has a wonderful rest of their week. Thank you.